Captain's Log, January 9th, 2026. Hello, I'm Captain Vile. Good on you, you've made it to Friday. Now, I'll be trying something not new, well, somewhat new with tonight's episode. So, loyal Violins will know that before moving, I used to have a show, a specific kind of Captain's Log episodes, where I cooked my dinner during it, so I had a time limit. So I was on a timer of about 20 minutes. And it was like a radio host kind of thing, because I actually did have a time slot I had to fill, and I couldn't go over or under. Well, I could go under, but I certainly couldn't go over. I'd burn my dinner. So I'm trying to replicate that with this show. Now you may be asking, well, can't you not do that because the oven's different from the old oven and cooks it a little faster, so it's 15 minutes and then 20? Well, it takes a bit to get up. It takes 10 or so minutes, or maybe a bit longer, to get ready, and cooks in 15 minutes. So there will be a brief, you're not going to notice it because I'm going to edit it out, but there will be a brief halt in the recording, and then I'm going to put my dinner in, and then I'm going to go back to recording, and then I'm going to finish recording and go have my dinner. So, interesting kind of show. I am tempted to... I'm not going to eat during recording, especially because I'm cooking dinner, but I have a snack. So, I don't think I've mentioned this. No, I was going to mention this. Anyway, I didn't watch anything this week. There just was not a movie of the week. Oh well. But, interesting development with temperature. As you may have noticed, it's getting a little cold. You know, we're really getting into the winter months. So one of my main meals is cereal, which obviously has milk in it, which kind of like I'd eat. The last bowl of cereal with milk I ate was a week ago, because it was the beginning of the week where I made the swap, and I was like teeth chattering. I was freezing after having it because of the milk. So I was like, well, I can't have milk anymore in my cereal. I mean, I can still have it in my tea. But I still want to have, like... I don't want to just eat sandwiches and then dinner. I don't want to have, like, 2 sandwiches a day as, like, breakfast. That would be weird. So, I'm having dry cereal. But only certain cereals are good dry, if you ask me. And I'm not really going to do, like, a trial of, oh, this is alright, now how is this? No, I found a cereal that's good dry years ago, and I'm sticking with it. It's Mini-Wheats. I can eat Mini-Wheats dry on their own. I like popcorn. It's pretty good. I would do that, eat, like, 5 singular wheat things, and be like, yeah, that's a fine snack, I guess. So I just have that, instead of... with no milk. I can have tea with it as well, because I can never have tea in cereal, because it's like 2 liquids. It's like having a drink with soup when like that's what the soup is. I know you can probably have water with soup at like if you go to a restaurant, but it's why would you want to drink something and then drink a different thing? You should have one drink. That's why stews are better than soups. Because, I mean, yeah, there is, like, the broth, but you have the hunks of meat and potatoes and whatever else you want to have in the stew that you can, like, chew and eat and then drink your water or whatever beverage you have with your meal. But anyway, I've made, so that's swap. So, I don't think that's... I think I've in previous years, I just kind of dealt with being cold after, or I would have cereal, be cold, and then make a cup of tea on its own, because I normally have tea with a sandwich, but I've just eaten tea on its own to warm up. But now, I just have, like, because I eat them in mugs, too. I don't eat them in bowls. I would, like, fill a mug with Mini-Wheats. and then just like eat them as a snack. Not with a spoon though. But since I don't have to share the mini wheats now, I don't have to do that. I can grab the box and just like eat them like that. So it's convenient. Interesting change. I'll probably go back to like cereal with milk once it warms up, but I do enjoy, because I don't have a snack. I only have meals, and this I can have as a meal if I have enough of them, or I can just have as like I'm a bit peckish, I'll have 5 singular mini wheats. So that's nice. As for how my week was, I mean, it's fine. Cold, I guess. I checked the weather. It's meant to. It did snow at like 5 in the morning, and then the rain. It snowed and then warmed up a bit, and then it rained, and the rain killed the snow. So I woke up expecting snow. That'd be a nice sight, but no, nothing. So that's cool. Oh, I have a few anecdotes from trip back home on the subway, but I mean I don't know. This is last week. This is not last week, as in like what happened this week. So I don't know. You may notice I'm a bit rambling more than normal. We're coming up to the time I gotta go put my pizza in the oven because it's still heating up. I think we got a few more minutes. But yeah, no. It's just kind of waiting for school to start. I'm animating the double down, not double down, the double debt. That's an arc that's starting. It'll be a monthly thing. But do I want to talk about that? I think I'll talk about that once it starts. So, So February. February's first show will be discussing Double Down, I suppose. The 6th. Yeah, so I have a long wait from the first Double Down thing to the second. Or will it be the 30th? I don't know. These are, like, I really should get better at talking about work in progress. Like animations, or just things I've got, I don't know, under the hood. That's not the right, no. Like behind the curtain. Things I've got that I'm getting ready to show, but I'm not ready to show. Because I never like... I like the reveal. I like... I don't know, I like working on a closed set, as it were. But with the Golden God animation, that's... I don't know how I didn't talk about it till now, but yeah, that came out after 10 long months, and Dark Souls 2, the tie-in playthrough of all games. Oh yeah, no, I was doing a lot of animation and doing a lot of thumbnails. So I had to do the Resident Evil finale thumbnail, the Arkham Origins finale thumbnail, the thumbnail for Man Who Blade Gold, the thumbnail for Dark Souls 2, the thumbnail for the Arkham Origins DLC, and then the thumbnail for Below Zero, which I still haven't finished, but I've got it worked out what I'm going to do at the very least. So a lot of thumbnails and a lot of animating, but I enjoy it. I've had things to listen to while I work. But I'm talking about getting back to I'm bad at talking about things while working on them. It was radio silent for The Man Who Bled Gold, bar a few updates. I think maybe across the 10-month period, there were 2 or 3 updates. I think it was 2. I think it was 2. So I'll get better at that, because the next animation coming up is Diamond Eye and Kevin's trip to Las Vegas. So that's got a lot of action scenes, but I've got it all written. I know everything that's going to happen. I just have to animate it. I did animate a year ago. Do I still have it? This is like, hang on. So I'm digging through my files. I think I must have deleted it because I had to like reanimate it because the character designs changed. And also it's been, well, the opening hasn't changed, but I had animated the first minute and I showed it to my parents. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good, but they did have some notes, which were helpful because it didn't quite get the tone I wanted across. It first of all, the opening is D like losing. I'm hesitant to talk about it, but I gotta get better at it. So the opening is D losing $10,000 in a casino, because that's the plot. Diamond Dine Kevin had to escape the mob by just escaping Las Vegas, because D lost 10 grand. Then he after an hour. The plan, the animation itself was D at the roulette table losing the last 1,000, and then one of the mobsters, like, I don't know, right or left hand, comes out, like, cracks their knuckles, and it cuts to D in, like, the trunk of a car, and they're gonna kill him in the desert. And then the rest of the animation goes on from there. But I stopped animating it when they, like, threw him out of the trunk and onto the desert ground. But now I'm wondering, is it... I don't know, I do enjoy the just cut to... Not just... Our introduction of him is this... The last of his money. Hang on, I am going to have to... Okay, just got back from putting it in the oven. Probably an awkward cut, I apologize. Again, first time trying out this kind of break in recording show. I'm not going to make a habit of doing it. It's just because I'm playing with friends after dinner, and if I play with friends, it'll go on long enough that I wouldn't be able to record this, so I had to do it early. I couldn't do it early because I was doing something else. But, not going to make a habit, but hey, try experimenting every now and then. Mm-hmm. But D and him losing 10 G's. So I'm contemplating making it the... I don't want the deal to be seen, but I am contemplating having there be this... The opening scene is him at various tables losing and losing more money as he gets less and less confident until he's finally at the original opening at this roulette table where he just bets all his money in some last-ditch hope to get it back. And then loses it. Because there's a nice scene I did playing with the reflection of his glasses that I want to keep in. But I'm not sure if that fits. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to reanimate the original opening as it was planned. Because I've got the music tie-in. And as it would... Because it's got... I'm not going to tell you. It's got an upbeat song playing throughout the entire thing. But it's juxtaposed with D being, like, crestfallen. And, like, well, damn. But it is a good idea to have the main character be as upbeat as the song, and then gradually lose, like, I don't know, joy. And gradually get more and more upset. But the song keeps its momentum, as if it's kind of like taunting him. As like everyone else is having a good time at the casino, but he's like miserable. So I don't know. Maybe I can pocket that idea and use it in another scene with him, because this is it's the first of many. I don't know how many shows I will make, as in like specials. How many shows I'll make, God knows. Like, because I think I've mentioned this before. They have endings. They have, not set in stone, but I have an idea on what I want the ending to be for most of the series. Some of them, straight up, do not have endings. Not that, like, they will never end, but it's like, I haven't really thought that far. They're kind of new, such as Golden God. That is going to be an ongoing series. Golden God and the Cranes, but I don't really know how it's going to end, because it's Another thing with this is how long it's gonna. There's gonna be a bit of a break between episodes, as it were, or specials, because they're in cycles. Golden Gods. I mean, I was just gonna do that because I want, like, he kind of got a freebie, being the first animation, but Diamond and Kevin are the first animation voted by the Violins. And then once their animation is finished, then Diamond and Kevin, Golden Gods, and the War of Violence and Simians all get voted again, and we'll see if Violence and Simians wins, or maybe Diamond and Kevin win a second time in a row, or maybe Golden God wins and we get another one of his animations. It's going to be pretty variable how often an animation is released, because some people may like one series more than another and want it to be voted more often, which could lead to a spiral effect. If you'll allow me to talk about FNAF Security Breach really quick, there's a character, Montgomery Gator, who he's one of my favorite characters because he's cool as hell, but he's wasted. He's got such a cool design. Anyway, in the base game, he's just kind of there, and none of the fans really liked him very much. So not much was done with him. So since he was really just there and wasn't really developed as well as he could have been, the fans didn't like him. And so in the next installment, because the fans didn't like him very much, because there was nothing much to like, they didn't add on to it, because it's like, well, why would we waste time and resources working on the character no one really cares about? And so he's kind of stuck in this. Like, in the next installment, there's even less there. He doesn't have a personality. He's just animalistic. Like, he's devoid of any humanity. And that's because nobody cared. So it might spiral. One animation might get like, oh, they won again, did they? Or one animation will be like, okay, can we get one animation? So I will leave it up to the Violins. But every now and then I'll be like, okay, I think 3 in a row is a, or no, 2 in a row. 3 in a row is not allowed. All right, so Diamond and Kevin can win the next vote, but I'm gonna step in and be like, no, let someone else have a turn being animated to avoid something like that happening. Because it's all me, all right? I put a lot of effort into these. They take a lot of time. I don't want one of these to be like dead on arrival because of like people's perception of it being worse than it is, because it never gets voted for, because they didn't vote for it, because they didn't know anything about it. So I'm going to try my best to stop that from happening. I know it might happen, but again, I'm going to try and prevent it. And a good way to do that, as well, is keep some hype up. I gotta, annoyingly, I kind of have to make, like, because I do have some drawings, but I'll probably make some memes to keep them in the, not cultural zeitgeist, but the I don't know, community's awareness. Because I did have one idea for Golden God Crane joke. But oh well. Some shorter animations, like less than a minute, that I could do. Just, hey, these characters exist. There's a pittance. Oh well. But we'll see how we'll cross that when we get there. But for Double Down, or for Double Debt, because I'm indebted twice, I'm not really going to be indebted for long, because there's like 1 or 2, probably just one very long episode of Cold Heart left, and then we move on to Sonic Below Zero. So I will have been in debt for a whopping like 4 days, but whatever. I already planned everything out. I'm trying a new not a new animation, but a new like method here with dialogue, because It's not going to have any voice acting because it's going to be as little effort as possible, but there's still going to be some put into it, but it's... I'm trying this new, like, text on screen, and it's, like, how... I don't know. I find a fun way of characterizing them is how their text pops up on screen and the noise along with it. Because it's not I'm going to be voicing them, but there is going to be, like, a noise associated with their, like, text popping up on screen. Say for... he's not in this, but if I were to do one of these lower effort animations with no voice acting for Diamond Eye, when his text appears on screen for him saying something, it would be like... it would be like playing cards being shuffled. It's like his noise that shows up whenever he's talking. If it was Kevin, it would be, I don't know, like liquid sloshing or like a can being opened. If it was Upname, it would be like a phone being dialed. Stuff like that. Or he's kind of got like a television motif as well, but I think I'm mainly focusing on phones with Upname. Anyway. Stuff like that. Or another thing, kind of a space, but space doesn't make a noise. Because that was something I realized unintentionally on a live stream, is that Upname's got a sci-fi look to him, because he's got star sunglasses and a galaxy tie, which I didn't intend during the first, like, making of him. During the first, like, I've got a deal you can't refuse. I just like, oh, that's pretty flashy but tacky tie. That seems like something he'd wear. To, like, get attention. Not that he's, like, a villain that's motivated by attention. No. He is pretty vain, but I this is probably something to talk about more on, like, a Captain's commentary than Captain's log. But I did struggle writing Upname's personality. But I think I've got it down. I think I've got it. I know what I'm doing with him now. But originally, there were some... I had a lot of ideas, but it didn't feel right for a salesman character to have this personality. Because I can see him caring about his appearance, but not to the degree that I had planned him to care about his appearance or social status originally. Anyway, I'll get into all of this in Captain's commentary, but not on Captain's log. No, this is about my week, despite the fact that not much has happened. Oh well. Again, sorry for the not again. Sorry for dead air. There was dead air previously while I was cooking, but you didn't experience any of that, did you? Ba-dum-bum-bum. I am curious about experimental shows. So, you may wonder what's with the ship motif, what's with the fog sounds for Captain's log. And really, I just thought it would be cool. I liked how that image looked. I liked how that sounded. So I put them on, and obviously it's nice to have some kind of, like, I don't know, white noise along with my voice, which is probably a white noise in itself if you listen to this series long enough and use it to go to sleep, as many people do. But I wonder what about doing, like, I don't know, I don't want to... I'm happy with Captain's log. I know exactly what it is, and people know exactly what they're getting into it. I'm not going to do any, like, wacky, zany nonsense. But I think the most I would experiment with is the visuals. Like, again, pulling from FNAF, I'm a very large Five Nights at Freddy's fan, but I never talk about that, because I don't want to play any of the games, because I don't really like the games, I like the characters. Anyway. Just checking how much I got on my pizza. Ooh, I'm out of time, actually. Hoo. I'm really glad Wowza. So, I have to go cook, but if you look up Mr. Hippo, and it's his face moving across the screen at different opacities, and him looking in thought, I think the most I would change visually about Captain's log is that. Because I find that funny. But oh well. I gotta go make dinner. I'm glad I checked the timer. So, sorry for the bit of a abrupt experimental show. Trying not to do too many of these. Certainly trying not to do too many of this exact method, but oh well. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Stay tuned to Gotham FM.